Hi Ankur,
Yeah, hi. I'm
am I audible?
Anish.
We've gone through your profile. You said you have total 8 years plus experience, correct?
Yes, right.
Great. And from 2014 to till date, you're with
TCS. Yeah,
TCS.
I've been working with the TCS, right?
That's great. I will quickly finish off and we'll try to answer your questions if any in the last. Okay.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
All right, Ankur. Before get started, can you please just brief about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Ankur. I've been working with TCS for almost 8 years. So I have majorly worked with two clients. In my early years, I used to work with Morgan Stanley Bank, and recently I've been working with PNC Bank in retail banking segment. And the technologies that we are prominently using are PySpark, Hive, and Hadoop. So, in talking about the project, so as I said, we are working in retail banking segment, and in that segment, we have this anti-money laundering line of business where our team is working. So, anti-money laundering basically, this if you see this, so money laundering is the way how you capture a lot of data, a lot of money through the illegal activities, through criminal activities or through terrorist activities. So all these the money you accumulate this and then you that's actually the black money, so how you convert it into white money. So that stands for money laundering. So our team basically writes scenarios to curb or to restrain these kinds of activities. That's why it's anti-money laundering. So we get a lot of transactional data when the different everything we get in retail banking segment like credit card, ATM, all these data we capture, and then we write scenarios, we write portfolios on these data sets to create the scenarios or the business scenarios, and then so that after transforming all that data, we can give it to for the visualization or for the final data set that we create, so that the analyst can work on that data, and then they can see the scenarios, and they can analyze the data to to capture any illegal activities that's happening in the transactions. So, considering my responsibility, so I was working end to end in my projects. I was working as business analyst. I was involved with the users, the end users, to capture the requirements. And then I used to work on the solution requirements as well to see how we can convert these business requirements into these solutions. And then from the solutions, how we can design this whole data pipeline. And if there is any portfolio that we need to design, so how we can design this whole data pipeline, and then finally work with the developers to create the data pipeline. So we generally, not generally, but yes, we create data pipelines in the PyScript where we extract the data from the source and then apply all these business rules, transformations that we need as per the business requirement. And then we finally dump data set into the table that is in the business layer, and then that table is not table but view in the consumption layer. So that view is then used by the Tableau user. So that Tableau users then using this final table that we have created, it creates the dashboards, and those dashboards are then finally visible to users, and then they can apply their analytics, whatever they want to do with the data set. And then for the analysts, all these, I mean, the different high level purpose that they can use, they want to use for the data for.
Yeah, I'm seeing multiple projects in your resume, and
Mm-hmm.
I think you are working on some real-time, data analysis related
Right,
project, correct?
right.
So there, what is your source system?
So, source system basically it depends on the business requirement. So, as you see, I have the latest portfolio. So, portfolio is nothing but the set of transactions or the collection of transactions that are happening through that particular business. I mean, whatever the source they want us to use. So, like as I have written here, the virtual asset service provider, which are nothing but the cryptocurrency exchanges. So, their
Mm-hmm.
business wants us to capture, so they have actually provided us a list of all these cryptocurrencies exchanges. Like we have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, we have Dogecoin. So all these lists we have got from the business. Now what we need to do, we need to find all those bank customers who are doing transactions with these cryptocurrency exchanges. So that bank customer transactions, we need to see what transactions we need to capture. Like here we have to capture wire transaction, that are electronically transferred transactions. So there we need to capture the wire table. So we have this already set up wire table that will have all these wire transactions. We need to see what who customers are doing wire transactions with these cryptocurrencies exchanges. Now for
Yeah,
that
yeah,
buyer, so
I
basically,
understand, Ankur. Sorry
yeah,
to
yeah,
disturb
I'm
you.
coming to
So
the source point. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'm coming to the source
okay.
point only. So just wanted to give you the background what we are doing so
Mm-hmm.
that I can cover the source. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what happens here is, so we have different retail teams. Okay, so as I said,
Mm-hmm.
we are working in retail banking segment. So we have ATM team, we have POS team who does manages POS transactions. One team manages these ATM transactions. So what they do, they capture the data from the users. I mean, not from the users, but the transactions that are happening in the real time environment. So they capture the data. They use old legacy systems like mainframe system, and then they dump into the enterprise layer. So basically, the enterprise layer, we have enterprise data warehouse that will have the transactions from all different sources. So that enterprise layer in Teradata, we don't manage, so the different team manages. Now that Teradata, so we have this big data Hadoop team, not our team, but from the different teams. So they actually ingest data from that Teradata to their, I mean, to big data environment, and from there we ingest the data to our data warehouse. That is for AML particular specific. So we get the data from there, or we sometimes we have to get the data from the source data from the files as well.
Okay. So is it a raw data, or like, is it a semi-structured data? If it is so, what is the file format, input file formats?
Yeah, so input file formats we have got in Excel, we have got in CSV, and in text as well.
Mm-hmm. So how you handle multiple, different ways of input file formats that you are receiving, right? And
Yeah,
how you
so
handling it?
yeah. So basically, what we do, I mean, we ask the business to keep them on the SharePoint on one centralized space, and from
Mm-hmm.
that SharePoint we do the pulling, and we keep these files on the Edge node, and from that Edge node we consume and then use it in the data pipelines.
So what is the frequency of the data flow from input to your edge node?
Frequency as in, I mean, how, I mean,
Let us say, since it is a a real-time data processing that you've been working on, correct?
uh,
So is it on the go? It is
real time
coming,
as
or
in, no. So we do it in the batches only. It's not the
what
this
is the latency of each batch?
yeah. So it depends on the business requirements. So sometimes we have to do weekly jobs. Sometimes we have to create these monthly pipelines, and then sometimes we have to create quarterly pipelines.
Okay, so you're not working on a streaming related.
No, not streaming, not streaming.
Okay, it's batch oriented jobs, right?
Batch processing, right? Yeah, yeah. Sorry if I said earlier.
What is the scheduler, job scheduler that you
Scheduler
are
we are
using?
using CA7. That basically, so we give the file, I mean the PyScript file, the con file, and whenever we want to schedule, so there is different RTB team, so they use the CA7 scheduler. So that basically a main phrase interface where they, so I mean that interface, I do not know the full purpose, but I think that creates the con job at the end. So so
Mhm.
we all these batches run through cron jobs.
How many jobs generally a day or a week it runs?
Uh, uh, I think there are more than 100 jobs that are being run,
Mhm.
at
What is
least
the
daily jobs.
volume? What is the
Hmm.
volume of the data that you are processing?
I mean, the whole data from the team perspective, or only
No,
for
let us say
these.
what is the volume of the data that let us say your jobs are running weekly or a day.
Mhm,
If it is
mhm.
day, then what is the day,
So,
volume of the data?
mhm. Yeah, so basically, some jobs happen. I mean, some jobs run daily, and I think it processes around 150 GB of data daily. So that will basically have the main like in the bank environment, we have the customers' data, right? So that data has to process daily. So it will be incremental load that we are doing from this Bigdata Hadoop layer to our AH environment. So that jobs run daily. So they have to run daily, but based on different business requirements, like I have created the portfolio. So that portfolios we have to see when we have to run, and then that's a different segment. But daily 150, around 150 of GB, 150 of GB of data comes from the these upper teams.
Good.
Upstreams.
So, is it completely you're using a PySpark or Hive, or what are the tools that you're using in your flow?
Yes, PySpark and Hive.
What is the underlying storage system? Is
Hadoop, sorry, HDFS, Clouded HDFS.
HDFS.
Clouded. Yeah.
Okay. So, how many tables are there in your area, like in landing area?
How many tables? I mean, the total tables in the
Mm-hmm.
business layer.
Yes.
So I think that I haven't counted, but I think that should
Approximately.
be at least more than 700, 800, or maybe
Oh.
even more, around 1,000 also.
Mhm. So, you might end up with writing so many queries, PySpark queries, correct?
Right.
So, what are the general transformations and actions that you used in your queries or transformations?
Okay, so many transformations. I mean, like we have this with column, then we have sometimes we use pivot and order by, then distinct operation. Okay, and then sometimes we use regex displays, date formatting. So
Mhm.
many transformations that we use. L padding. Okay, and then what all there? Union by name, drop
Mhm.
duplicates. Okay, and then what else? I think these are the one I could remember right now, but there are many others also for sure.
So, have you implemented incremental data process or procedure in your pipeline?
Yeah, so basically incremental as in the pipeline which we write. So as I said, we extract the data from the source, and on the
Mhm.
basis of batch date, we insert overwrite into the final table. So it is just replacing data from the, I mean, for the particular batch date with the new data.
Are you using partition tables?
Yes, we are using partition table.
Partition tables is a target partition tables or a source or in intermediate layer where you are using partition table and why?
Uh, okay, so we are using partition table mostly in the target tables. Okay, so it's very important to use these these partition tables, because and we generally partition on batch dates, and it becomes very simple for us, to query if we want to query on those final these target tables. And also in the Tableau also, if tables are partitioned, it will help Tableau to process these queries faster on these tables. So
What are
we
the
have to
file
use this
format,
partition.
final table file formats that you are using?
Parquet format, Parquet.
Why? Why Parquet?
So Parquet, yeah, so Parquet, as we are using Spark, so Parquet works, I mean, better with Spark, and also it has lot of compression capabilities. So it compresses the data, and then I mean, compression is there. Then it helps to, if we are querying on those tables again, so it helps to I mean, performance of the queries. I mean, the queries runs faster on the data set, and also it has nested structures that also works well with Spark.
Can you please give me one example like how to create a
Mm-hmm.
Spark program and how to submit it? And in a sense, like I just want to know how to create a Spark session and Spark
Mm-hmm.
object and how
Mm-hmm.
you create a data frame or a RDD if it is RDD
Mm-hmm.
from RDD to data frame. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
finally how you write the data into a end table. So can you please give me a
Okay.
pseudocode?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with importing the Spark session class. So I can import from PySpark.sql import Spark session, and then I can create the Spark object. And using this, I mean, for this class, using this Spark object, I will use the Spark SQL session. So I can create Spark object using Spark session dot builder dot. I can give the app name and dot enable Hive support, because we have to use query on the Hive tables, and
Mhm.
then get or create, that also this method I can invoke. And after that, I can import all those utilities or all those libraries, different libraries that I need to use in my data pipeline. And then I will start creating data frames. So basically, we have to see what source tables we are using. If we are using source tables which are already present in our warehouse, so we will simply query on those source tables, and then we will see if we need to do any where condition if we need to apply on those table while reading the data from the source. And then all the different transformations that we need to apply based on different requirements, we will do that. And then finally we will do df dot write dot insert into the particular table override, and the table should be partitioned on the batch date. So after writing these data pipelines, the whole pipeline, I will do the Spark submit, okay, to deploy that this whole script, and finally the data will be inserted in the final target table.
What is the syntax for to submit a Spark job on a
Yeah,
cluster?
so Spark submit, Spark hyphen submit, and then two hyphens, then deploy hyphen mode. So then if you want to do into cluster, then cluster, and then different configuration parameters that we have to apply for the hardware settings that we can do, like number of executors, executor memory, driver memory. And then we generally give the script at the end. So if we're using configuration file, we have to use hyphen conf also for the configuration files. If not, then we generally write these all configuration parameters, cluster parameters, and then we give the script at the end, script name, and then the batch date, comma batch date as an argument. Not batch date, sorry, environment.
Fine. So who will decide number of resources while you submitting a job, Spark job especially?
So it depends actually. I mean, if we are processing a large file, then we have to see the number of executors, and that's what you're asking, right? The configuration parameters,
Yes.
how to decide. Yeah. So we have to see if we are processing a large file, let's say of 90 or 100 GB file. Then we have to. I mean, generally, so there are the set of default parameters that we use for these hardware configurations. But if the file size is very large, then we have to check how we can increase the executors, or how we can use the executor memory so that these data pipeline executes faster.
So do you know the concept called map side join?
Yes.
Will you please explain?
Yeah, so if I talk from the high perspective, yeah, so map side join basically, uh, what we do, if there are two tables, and in one, if one table is very large and one table is very having less number of records, so what we will do, we will instead of using that, we don't want to use the reducer phase, we will use this map side join, so that all these copied into the mappers at that small table, and then the big tables gets data from the same mapper itself, and then the reducer phase doesn't come place.
Have you ever used map side join, first of all?
No, we generally use this broadcast join in the Spark. So that thing, I think, the kind of similar purpose, but I that's why my answer was more towards the Spark side, where we copy this one table into all the executors nodes, so that
Acha.
take. So but in Hive side, yeah, so map join is also there, but I haven't got the chance to do this join
Okay.
on the Hive
So
side.
do you have experience implementing a broadcast join or
Yes,
not?
yes.
hmm
Yeah.
Why we use that?
So basically, if as I said, in this latest example only, as I was just mentioning, in this virtual currency, cryptocurrency exchanges. So as I said, that we got the list from business, right? So that cryptocurrency exchanges, I think that those were only 200 or 250, but to find the transactions of these exchanges in the actual transaction table for those wire transactions or electronically, happening transactions. So those transaction data volume was very large, around I think 80 or 90 million. So now joining, obviously we will do some filtration on the data, but what I want to say is that the cryptocurrency exchanges list was very small, but that the transaction data was very large. So I had to use this broadcast join in that case for joining these transactions with those exchanges list. So basically, it will just broadcast that particular data frame into all these executor nodes, so that there is no shuffling of data, much shuffling of data that have not much, but yeah, no shuffling of data happens while joining these two data frames, having a
So
large
what are
data
the
and the small data
drawbacks
frame.
by using broadcast join?
I think the main drawback would be, as I said, it is going to copy these all this data frame into all these executor nodes. So basically, so what we are, so let's say, so we have got this RAM of 2 GB, okay, and the data set size is 100 MB or 200 MB. So it is going to consume 200 MB from all these different executor nodes, right? So if there are 10 executors, so it will consume 200 MB into 10. So that's around 2 GB of RAM just for, but generally you see it's only 200 MB, but it is going to consume 2 GB of RAM. So that's actually a costly operation.
All right. So I have a small requirement, like let us say, okay, before going to that question, I will ask you one more question.
Mm.
Like, what is the difference between partition and repartition and coalesce?
Okay, so repartition and coalesce we generally use if we have to decrease or increase the number of partitions. So for if we want to increase or decrease number of partitions, we will use repartition. If we only want to decrease the number of partitions, we will use coalesce. And coalesce is just so basically coalesce is not going to shuffle your data. So it has to manage how the number of the partitions, number of partitions you are giving by without shuffling of data, whereas repartition is going to do the shuffling of data as well. So we generally use coalesce. I do not prefer to use repartition in our data pipelines.
Can we
For
increase
this reason,
number of partitions by using the coalesce?
coalesce, no. So we can only decrease the number of partitions.
Okay.
But if already there are, let's say, two partitions, no, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Mhm. What is the difference between cache and persistent?
Yeah, so cache and persistent, if we want to store the result of any RDTs in the memory, okay, so we use cache. And for persistence, there are multiple levels. Like we have this memory only, then memory and disk, then memory day, and I think memory and disk day as well. But I prefer I have used only cache. I did not use persist right till now in my this script.
Mhm. Okay, when we increase or decrease output of the file, okay,
Mm-hmm.
when after writing, let us say in Parquet format, so
Mm-hmm.
well, let us say 1 GB of data or 10 GB of data, then you break it output as let us say 500 MB each, okay, that means 10
Mm-hmm.
files are created,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm,
So I want a specific name of the file, okay.
mhm,
Let us say crypto one underscore today date and
mhm,
time stamp. Okay,
mhm,
crypto one underscore again date and time. Okay, or
mhm,
crypto two, crypto three, crypto four, something like that.
mhm,
I need a particular file format name. Okay, I don't want any
mhm,
default file name after getting an output. Okay,
mhm,
so how will you
mhm.
handle it? Will you able to handle or create this output whatever I am asking by using PySpark or Python or shell script?
So you basically want to save the data into the file name you have already provided in the script itself.
Correct, correct. Current, customer has given a one file name. He want to receive file
Uh,
name in that file format or in that name only. There is a standard
uh,
format. We should
uh,
give a file name
uh,
uh, as per that format only.
uh,
How will you do that?
uh, okay. So I think reading is fine. We can do
Hmm.
by mentioning the
See, when
star.
you
Mm,
in output, let us say 10 GB is the input file size and output are
uh-huh,
I'm expecting after all doing transformation actions, it's divided into 10 files. Okay. That is
uh-huh,
Parquet file format. Just assume like that.
uh-huh,
Each is around
uh-huh,
500 MB. Okay. But even if you do this, then we may get one default names. Okay, it's a random names. It will pick up
Right,
and it
right,
will give. It won't give a standard name. Correct? But I
right,
don't
right.
want to default name. I want to, receive like crypto one underscore today time stamp and crypto two underscore,
Mm-hmm.
crypto three underscore, like
I
that.
got, I got it. Yeah.
I want that kind of a file format name. So how will you
Mm-hmm.
achieve this? I never mind whether you want to use shell script or Python or
I
whatever
think
the
in
language.
Python it is possible. In one of the projects we have done, but someone else was working, so I know it's possible. So we have done that as well, but I am not able to recall how to actually do it. I mean, while
If
writing
I
the file.
give half an hour time or 1 hour time, will you do that? I never mind
If
even you search in Google.
okay, yeah, sure.
No, I'm just checking you.
Oh.
Will you do or not?
Yes, yes, I can do that. I'm checking that. But I because I know in one of the projects we have done this. I mean, writing on the HDFS, I'm not sure if that we have done, but reading the file from the H note and then saving file on the H note with the with that with the name with our I mean customized name, that is possible. But if you are saying that writing file on the HDFS and then that is something I would need to check.
No, it's still
I'm not
fine.
100.
Even if you write in a same place or a different folder in Edge note, I don't
Mhm.
mind. Okay, right?
Yeah, but I think that we can do, but I would need to check how we can do that. But I think
Right.
with Python might be possible. Yeah.
Uh, okay, Ankur, I think I'm done because I want to, cover more on
Mm-hmm.
um, Spark. So I covered important questions and
Okay.
some real-time stuff, whether you have a real-time exposure or not. And
Mm-hmm.
how can you rate yourself in Python out of 5?
Uh, Python. So I mean, using Python libraries in Spark is fine. But if you tell, I mean, if you say the core Python, then I might not be. Rate myself good in that.
What about shell script out of 5?
Shell script also, I mean, I haven't got much chance to work on that instead of just writing those Spark Summit in one shell script. So yeah,
Do
that's
you
why I
have
have not
any
written.
any knowledge on a
Mhm.
cloud? Any cloud?
No, no. So we are using HDFS only. I mean, there is a plan to migrate, but still it's in the proposal
So
phase.
if you are using Cloudera, then there is a inbuilt scheduler, right? Uzi. Why you people are not using Uzi?
I mean, when I joined the team, I mean, this is something that CA7 is we are using from the one long time. I think there is a plan to move to Airflow now, but still that is under the proposal. Cloud and Airflow both are under the proposal right now.
All right, it is good to learn Airflow. So I
Mm-hmm.
think if you get a chance, that please try to learn Airflow. It is very much
Mm-hmm.
recommended. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think we are, I think 10 minutes left. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I can give you some time, you know, I can take more time to take, ask so many questions, but idea is I want to, I want to listen what exactly that you are expecting from this mock interview, and I want to address some of your
Mm-hmm.
questions
Mm-hmm.
and recommendations, so that I just want to
Yeah.
give
So
another few minutes for you.
yeah. So I just wanted to get your feedback also, because this is, I mean, I have not given any interview. This is my first interview, even mock also you can say. So I
Mhm.
have not given any interview. So I'm just going to start giving the interview. So this was my first interview. So I might not be that well, but just I want to get the
Okay.
feedback from you as
I
well.
understand. So you want to check yourself where you are, and you want the feedback, or you want to comments or inputs, whatever you want
Yes.
to get a job or to.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, understood. So since I didn't cover many uh, softwares, I can say I didn't cover any scheduler part. I didn't cover much on
Mm-hmm.
Hadoop or Hive, because since you are 8 years plus experience, I'm expecting you have a minimum knowledge. Okay, if you are a 3 years
Mm-hmm.
plus experience, then I would have asked so many questions from Hadoop. But
Mm-hmm.
as an interviewer,
So
what?
can I do one thing, because scheduler, I mean, the CA7 is not that, I mean, no one knows about this, to be
Correct.
very frank. So I mean, learn Airflow, and then I can implement, I can, in interviews, I can say we are using Airflow, and then I can learn these
Um,
tags and all things from the
See,
Airflow.
you can,
How?
but you should get a, real time some exposure. If you can do it, if you have a time, you can learn. I can suggest you to learn Airflow. But if
Mm-hmm,
you don't have a time, you want to get a job within as soon as possible, then
mm-hmm,
whatever you are saying, you just continue and say that since TCS is a big organization where definitely there might be different groups where working in a different areas like scheduling part, other team will take care. Okay, once you give us
mm-hmm,
jobs, let us say Python file or a zip file or a jar files, and
mm-hmm,
another admin team will take care to schedule other workflows. But as a
mm-hmm,
developer, I can say, or engineer, I can say one of any scheduler you supposed to have some idea. Okay,
mm-hmm,
and how to decide number of resources or its configuration is also matters. Okay,
mm-hmm,
if you have a knowledge, it is fine. I didn't ask you deeper. I just touched one
mm-hmm,
question, but I didn't ask you deeper. If you want
mm-hmm,
deeper, then please go through our playlist, YouTube
mm-hmm,
playlist, recent playlist,
mm-hmm,
where I
mm-hmm,
explained in detail how to
mm-hmm,
configure or how to arrive, number of executor
mm-hmm,
or its memory, etc. Okay.
mm-hmm,
So coming to your general, feedback is that pretty satisfied with your questions or with your answers. I can say the confidence level is
mm-hmm,
good,
mm-hmm,
and I recommend you to go through, Python and also shell
mm-hmm,
script, not in deeper for big data,
mm-hmm,
whatever it is required. You please go
mm-hmm,
through it and get a command
mm-hmm,
on it. And I
mm-hmm,
didn't touch your SQL skills also
mm-hmm,
because of one reason, that is your 8 years plus experience you said. So
mm-hmm,
I was under impression that you already have some knowledge on SQL, and hence I
mm-hmm,
didn't ask my questions on small
mm-hmm,
things. Okay,
mm-hmm,
writing a queries and all.
mm.
See, idea is to
So
check.
basically, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So whatever, I mean, like in the if, in the resume I'm writing SQL, that means, as you said, right? You asked Python and shell script. I didn't write in my resume because I wasn't really comfortable with Python
No,
core and
you have to
shell
write
script.
it now. Since you are
Mm-hmm.
mentioning PySpark, then without Python, how
Mm-hmm.
you are writing Spark?
Yeah,
So
but but there are many things in Python, that we are
no, no,
not
no, no.
using in
I'm
these.
not asking you to
Yeah.
learn every library, okay? You
Mm-hmm.
just read Python or get some command
Okay. Mm-hmm.
related to big data, not whole.
Mm.
Okay? In the
Okay.
same
Okay.
way, shell script also. Okay?
Okay.
If I ask one question, you have to write that code either in one language, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is how you have to impress a interviewer. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
That is the reason I'm just asking you to get some command on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, and from resume perspective, is it looking fine? Is it
It's
fine, or I
fine.
need to make?
Yes, you have to mention a few more, some technical words. I can say,
Okay.
your resume is pretty good, but
Mm-hmm.
you, I, you mentioned 4 pages. I don't think you no need to mention four. If it is possible,
Mm-hmm.
reduce it to three by using
Okay.
by trimming unnecessary things, okay, or
Mm-hmm.
repeated
Mm-hmm.
things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it looks
Mm-hmm.
pretty professional. I can agree. But thing
Okay.
is, you have to mention more and more, technical terms or
Mm-hmm.
technical. You used
Mm-hmm.
some ETL processing, data warehousing, data mapping, data modeling.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to reduce few words and increase some technical words. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and go through Naukri or go through any other job portals where you will find so
Mm-hmm.
many sample resumes and find out the suitable wordings and where
Mm-hmm.
you are having some idea. So
Mm-hmm.
try to update little bit. Okay.
Okay.
And confident wise, even you can go ahead and give interviews and
Mm-hmm.
parallelly you please learn this technical side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, since you are a more experienced guy, I just want to touch whether you have a confidence level or not, or have a
Mm,
overall idea or not. So that kind of checks
mm,
I made majorly.
mhm,
If you are 3 years plus experience or 5 years experience, my questions might be little different.
mhm.
Um, but overall, I can recommend you to next level of interview. Okay, if I am an interview
Okay.
panel. Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
so that much confidence I can give you. All the best for
Okay.
your future, and
Thank you so much.
but you have to cover
So,
more
I mean,
questions and all. Okay.
yeah. I mean, can we have one more interview round if we are fine anytime,
Uh,
whenever you will be available,
I will
next
tell
week
you
or
if
2 weeks after?
probably yeah. I will tell you. But if
Sure,
you
sure.
are expecting one more interview, definitely questions might be a little tricky. I will take.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's why I want.
That time you
Uh,
can expect questions from SQL or HiU and
okay.
Python and
Hmm.
any scheduler and shell script.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, within
Okay.
40 minutes I cannot cover, so I didn't touch that. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
this interview is dedicated for only 8 years plus experience guy, that too PySpark
Mm-hmm.
majority time. Okay. But if you
Mm-hmm.
are expecting
Okay.
another interview, definitely the questions will be come all over the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is a little tricky, I can say, and you have to
Hmm.
more concentrate on your basics and also some
Sure.
expertise level questions you can expect.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We
Okay.
will I will try to pull one more panelist for our next
Mm-hmm.
round. By the time you
Okay.
take 2 weeks of time and let me know
Mm-hmm.
when you are ready.
Okay.
All
Sure.
right.
And in generally, yeah, in this real-time interview, so there are going to be two parallel, three parallels, or it all depends.
Yeah, it depends. Minimum one, two, three.
Okay.
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 And
Okay.
if you are 8 years experience, you can expect minimum two. Minimum two.
Okay.
In my
Mm-hmm.
company, we used to go with minimum three if you are more than
Mm-hmm.
5 years experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So no worry, it's not matter of
Mm-hmm.
interview panel numbers, okay? It's matter of
Mm-hmm.
questions, okay? Amount of questions that you are
Right. Right.
getting, right? So you
Right.
concentrate only
Right.
questions. Everybody should
Uh-huh.
ask questions from there only, but few
Uh-huh.
people will check your confidence level and your managerial skills, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, I
Mm.
think you are almost good, and but
Mm-hmm.
I can say 10 to 20% you have to improve, and
Okay.
definitely we will take it up that rest of the percentage in our next interview. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
All right, Ankur. Thank you so
So
much
are you
for your
going to put
time.
this in on YouTube?
Yes, of course. It let be useful for
Okay.
others also. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Thank you, Ankur. I think
Yeah.
time is up.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Let me know once you are done.
Yes. Yes. Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Okay.
much for your help.
Right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.